Hello, my name is Dark Ninja, and I'm going to be explaining the entirety of the Genesis in MS Paint. Now, when there was a void, right? This is basically nothing. There's nothing in it. There was something, because with nothing, there has to be something, right? It can't all just be nothing. So that something, that force was the architect. Now, this architect, it wasn't an entity. Rather than that, it was actually just a force basically. It was the embodiment of creation itself. It didn't have a physical form. It wasn't like a human being. It wasn't an alien. It was just a force for the universe to exist. And now, because of the architect, things started to become like into creation. So, like, we have suns, we have planets, all of that stuff. It's because of the architect. Because the architect exists, it manifests the will of the universe to exist. Now, that's probably hard to wrap your head around, but stay with me here. But basically, architect present, force of universe, it creates stuff. That's all you need to know. But due to the architect existing, there was a big issue. Now, see, in the void, there was one thing, right? And its name was Chaos. You guys probably know this in the wheel, the Chaos Force. That's like that's gonna be talked about later. But Chaos, right? Now, it was basically the opposite of the architect. The architect was the universe's will to live, but the chaos was its will to be nothing. The chaos was basically, it was untamed, it was raw energy, unlike architect, which was harmonious. It was order versus chaos, creative versus destruction. And now, to counterbalance chaos, architect created some few forces as well of its own. And these forces weren't not just like, just like the architect, they weren't powerful entities, but they were personifications of stuff that was required for the universe's stability. Now I'm going to name these eight primordials. That's the name given to these forces. They were the eight primordials. There was time, there was order, there was death, there was life, there was eternity, there was void, there was fate, and there was destiny. Now these were the seven primordials which were created by the architect. But now, basically, these are all self-explanatory. I don't think I really need to explain what time, order, death, life, eternity, void, fate, and destiny. I think, yeah, these two are important. Fate is the embodiment of predetermined events, and the inevitable. Sorry, I forgot how to speak in English, but it's the inevitability. I think that's how I said. Yeah, of destiny. My bad. I am not a native American or British, so my bad for my poor English. But yeah, that's what fate is. And destiny, it is the potential for change. So fate basically says destiny will always happen, and destiny is a potential for change, that anything can happen. That's probably confusing, but you get the point. I hope so. Now, fate and destiny, they are going to go hand in hand. They're extremely important. Now, see, the thing is that chaos, right? Universe was expanding much more, but the issue was chaos. Looking at the creation of the primordials, was using its force to attract the primordials and try to turn them against the architect. And this was a huge issue. And now the primordials were thinking, you know what? Maybe the architect is limiting our power. Like, why does this guy have to be the all knowing creator? Why can't we be? Why can't we be, like, have power over the universe? Both fate and destiny were the ones who were the most influenced. And because of that, something happened. A war. A war was a brew between the primordials, chaos, and the architect. And now what happened was is that architect, he was alone, right? He was the only one since the primordials were now fighting against him. So just imagine, like, these are the primordials, these little brown squiggly lines, and chaos is with them. And now, like these, they're fighting. And now the thing is that fate and destiny were the ones who led the war. Fate was the one who was leading all the primordials against the architect, and destiny was the one who persuaded uh, fate against the architect. And when these two forces are fighting, the literal universe was being broken apart. It was that strong of a battle, and the architect realized that he's losing the war. He is not winning this. So then that's why later on the architect and the primordial of fate made a deal, right? And now what this deal was is that the architect and see, the thing is that architect didn't mind losing. He knew that he was going to lose, but the issue was is that if he loses, then imbalance will happen. Chaos will be on top, and that means no one will be able to counter chaos. So architect and the primordial of fate, they made a deal. The architect was then reshaped into the wheel, and yes, this is the same wheel that we see spinning on the Instagram reels. Now he had basically become a wheel, right? And what this wheel does is that it controls like everything in the universe. This wheel was a powerful artifact, and it basically embodied like everything the architect fought for. It had the principles of creation, order, and balance. And because of that, now fate, since the deal was made with fate, fate was now known as the creator. So now this guy, fate, became the new boss. First it was architect, right? We remember here. Architect was the first boss, but now, since Architect had lost the battle and he transformed himself into the wheel, now the creator was born. Basically, the primordial of fate, just with much more power. Now, fate, he was doing his thing, he was using the wheel to spin stuff and create stuff, alright, just like the architect had planned. And, like they were just like in the Instagram deals, that's how stuff was spinned. But then something happened, right? Well, the creator, we'll call the primordial of fate as a creator now. Now, the creator, he wanted, he was like having the order and stuff like that. But now, the primordial of destiny, he was kind of mad. He was getting ambitious. He wanted the power now. And destiny, the most affected by chaos, he was thinking that, what if I just take the power for my own? Like, what? I could just do that, right? And because of that, creator m- sorry the primordial of destiny decided that he would merge with chaos. And this was like a huge problem, as even like all the primordials and the creator and the wheel, it was not enough to stop the primordial of destiny. He was too much. And thus, because of that, the creator did something. What happened is that he spun the wheel, and what this did was is that it linked chaos and chaos primordial of destiny with the wheel. So now the wheel had two forces. All right, now I this is probably getting confusing, but just look. First, what had happened, the architect was the wheel. All right, he made himself into this wheel. So we have the good side of the wheel, all right? Like the creation side. But now that the creator, he spun the wheel and he merged destiny and chaos with the wheel. Now there was a chaos force. And I'm sure you guys now are getting a bit of this at least. You know the chaos force in the spins, right? Like the hymn, the slightly blessed, stuff like that. That's where it comes from. That's where the chaos force comes from. When this wheel was spun, then chaos merged with the wheel, just as the architect had merged with the wheel also. And what this did was is that it basically ruined. And when I mean ruined, I mean absolutely ruined the primordial of destiny. Now, not only did the wheel have chaos as well, but it also stripped away all of the power of the primordial of destiny. And what was left was just an empty shell. What was the primordial of destiny with the infused power of chaos had now become, well, what is known as the Darvizi. Yep, the primordial of destiny is the Darvizi. And I hope you guys don't feel bad for this guy, like, because he was, well, literally the antagonist of this entire thing. And now Darvizi, it was the weakest alien in the universe, and that's why it has the name Darvizi. It's linked with his former name, Destiny. And it's also kind of ironic since this, I guess, was his destiny to be this alien. But now the thing is that the creator's role was now like elevated. Now he was the one running everything. There was no one to stop him. And that meant that he was also spinning a wheel with the chaos force infused, right? Now that's like all the conflicts and stuff. Now what's happening is that the creator, right? He's doing an experiment. And this is linked to the whole Instagram thing. The creator has decided that he will be hosting the tournaments. He'll be hosting tournaments, and the wheel will be the one to create the characters. And the creator's vision was a universe that basically the weakest alien, if it wins a tournament as the underdog, then that means it's a perfect universe. And that seems a bit confusing, but hear me out. If the weakest alien of this tournament wins, that means that even the weakest being in the universe has the chance to rise to the top. And that puts things at equilibrium. What? Sorry, I forgot. But it makes things equal, basically. The strongest character can fall to absolutely nothing, and the weakest character can rise to the ranks of the gods. That is what the creator envisions, a perfect word. So this tournament, it basically signifies the checking of how perfect a universe is. After each tournament, the creator analyzes what's going on. He adjusts the conditions of the wheel, so that's why we have new races, we have new weapons, we have new powers in every single season. And that season is the tournament, by the way. And after that, it leads to the creation of a new universe. The creator spins the wheels again and again and again, creates new more characters, creates more tournaments, and this keeps on happening. And each tournament is more diversified than the last one. Now, I'm sorry, my English sucks, but that's basically the genesis. In like, I don't know actually. I don't know how long this is, but yeah, 13 minutes. 13 minutes. That's Genesis explained and MS Paint. I'm sorry if you didn't get it. Just ask me questions. My name is ITC Dark Ninja, and yeah, I hope you guys at least made some sense of it, and you enjoyed. All right then, bye.